Welcome to episode 9 of our Azamara Quest Australian Adventure. In this episode we reach Esperance and we get to explore this beautiful area. And in the words of Noddy Hoder, also, it's Christmas!
Right then,
Morning.
It is indeed. Today we've arrived in Esperance. So I can show you the maps, can I, Paulie? Quick. There. That's very pretty. So you can see we come all the way around there, and today we're in Esperance. I do like having the maps on, don't I, Paulie?
Guys, it's absolutely riveting. We watch a good film now, let's put the maps on.
Anyway, so we've just had another lovely breakfast delivered.
We have.
We've arrived in Esperance. Well, not quite yet, actually, because if you have a look out here, we'll show you that we're tendering again today. So let's have a quick look. Now, Esperance is renowned for the beautiful beaches, and you can see over here, just white, which is lovely. And the tenders, they were going from below here yesterday, so I presume they're doing the same. Yep, there they are, ready to take us ashore. They got 3 gone on the go, look, and we're heading over there. So and we're very excited about that, because today we may see our first kangaroo, might we, Paulie?
We may well do.
Yes,
because we're going to Cape Le Grand National Park.
we are. We're on an excursion today. Paulie, show you the ticket. There we are. So we have to go and meet in the Cabaret Lounge at 10:15, which is in about 10 minutes time, and they're going to take us off and hopefully see our first kangaroo.
What if they fight us? Everything I see videos of kangaroos, they're punching people in the face.
As long as it's not me, then that's all right.
You don't care if it's me though?
Well, I don't really want you to be punched any, but it'd be good video content then. Right then. So we are back from back on board after Esperance, and I want to tell you about our...
I've got to do that, I think, because it's in your eyes.
So we want to tell you about Esperance, which absolutely beautiful, isn't it, Paulie?
Yes, we went to Cape Le Grand National Park.
Yes. The first place they took us to was Lucky Bay, and oh my god, it was just, you know, one of those whoa moments. You think, we knew the beaches in Australia were going to be pretty spectacular, and what we've seen...
Wow.
What did I say?
Whoa.
We knew they were going to be spectacular, but this just actually, as soon as we started seeing that bit of that blue and white, it was like, wow, this is just unbelievable.
The last time, and this has just come into my head now actually, the last time my personal feelings I had a moment like this was when we went to Petra.
Yes.
And as you're walking down through the ravine that's been carved out by the water, our tour guide said to us, just go across to the left hand side, and as you go around that corner you'll catch the first little glimpse of the Treasury, which is the famous building.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
And we were on this coach, and our tour guide said, right, when we go over the brow of this next hill, you'll get the first glimpse of Lucky Bay through the windscreen of the bus. And when we went over the brow of the hill, and it was like, whoa, it was wow. It was like, oh my god.
Right then. So
right then, we've been some places, but I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this.
Yes, so come with us and we'll show you Lucky Bay. Lucky us, because we're at Lucky Bay. But look at that. This is looks quite awesome. Wow, that's pretty I don't think I've ever seen colours like it. Have you, Paulie? Yeah. Apparently the water's really cold. Right then, so it's Christmas Eve. I'm going in.
Is that it then?
It's very cold.
Yeah, squeaky sand.
The sand squeaks.
Yeah.
It's weird. Can you hear it?
No. Right then, I'm going in the water.
Ah. Do you see what I mean about the squeak? Have you frozen?
I said I was regretting my decision not to bring my swimming trunks. I'm no longer.
No, it's freezing.
It is so cold. But oh my god, it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life.
The squeaky. Squeaky sound.
That's that.
Ironically, kangaroos are usually quite prevalent at Lucky Bay, but they usually come out towards the late afternoon. So once again our day remains kangaroo free. Next stop at Le Grand National Park was the Whistling Rock. Unfortunately today the rock decided not to whistle, but the trip was made well worthwhile by these stunning views. Back on the bus, and the last stop of the excursion was to an exact replica of Stonehenge. Made from 137 pink granite stones, it's built perfectly to align with the winter and summer solstices, just like the original in Wiltshire in the United Kingdom. With the excursion complete, we were dropped back to the tender port in Esperance. With time running out before the last tender was leaving, we had a quick look around this beautiful place. We didn't get to see as much as we'd like to, but we know that we definitely want to come back. Back on the tender, and it was time for a bumpy ride back to the ship.
On board, and we were just chilling in the cabin, and Paul thought, oh, the last tenders are coming in, I'll just go and have a look.
Well, I could see it through the window, and I know that our tender, when it came in, it did get a little bit entertaining the closer we got to the ship.
It did.
And I thought, well, that's going to make a good video. So I went out onto the balcony and started videoing, and then I could hear this sort of shouting, and it was a bit sort of rocky and rolly, the old tender ship. And I thought, well, where's that shouting coming from? And then as it got closer, there was, well, what can I say? That Father Christmas was on the roof of the tender boat.
Yes.
So I think actions speak louder than words. So here's Santa riding on a tender boat.
Yes. That's brilliant. Well, we didn't think Father Christmas was going to arrive on a tender boat. There you go. Merry Christmas! Brilliant.
So knowing that there was a Japanese buffet going on in Windows,
yes,
which was the best buffet of the first leg of the cruise, so I said, well, let's just go and have a look at Discoveries. And it was all things Christmas. It was turkey, it was roast beef and Yorkshire puddings. It was all the loveliness that Christmas will bring. So it'd be interesting to see what the Christmas Day is going to be.
Exactly that.
Maybe it'd be like
Japanese.
Maybe it'd be egg, maybe it'd be egg and chips.
Who knows?
Beans on toast. So anyway, we plumbed for Discoveries. Went to the maitre d', who's a lovely lady, isn't she? Very friendly and helpful.
There's quite a queue, which a lot of Azamara regulars were not happy about, and they've been saying that they've been queuing to get into Discoveries and that the service has been slow in there. For us, it hasn't been slow at all. It's been very efficient, and we've had excellent service in there. I ordered the lobster and prawn cocktail starter, which was absolutely divine. Their prawns on here are superb, aren't they?
Definitely. I had firecracker shrimp.
Yes.
Which is like it's almost like a mini spring roll, but it's got a shrimp inside it.
Yeah.
And it's quite spicy, and it had some spicy sauce, and it also weirdly had, which I must admit I didn't like, but Carole did, some pickled cauliflower.
Yes, I've never had pickled cauliflower.
Pickled cauliflower, but Carole likes anything vinegary.
I do. I love a
salty.
bit of pickle.
Yeah, pickle. So that was all lovely. And I had for my main, I had roast beef and Yorkshire pudding.
Yes.
And it had a couple of little roasted potatoes, some roasted vegetables.
Yeah, I had the turkey, which actually was delicious. And for dessert, we both chose the trio of desserts, but by then I was stuffed. And I must admit, the chocolate one was so chocolatey I couldn't eat it, but you enjoyed it, didn't you? There was a little tartlet in the middle, which I thoroughly actually did have a few mouthfuls of, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So that was another delicious dinner in a Christmas Eve dinner in Discoveries. So after dinner, our normal routine, because we got into a bit of a routine, is to go to the den to see Ruby and Mark and the fabulous bar staff in there, Daniel. But we couldn't get a seat. We're like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, don't they know who we are?
Well,
but it's funny because normally we wouldn't sit at the bar, but we've now actually quite liked sitting at the bar. So, but we couldn't. There wasn't a seat to be had anywhere.
No, so we went up to the living room, which is right at the front of the ship, and the ship started moving again. And the captain said it's going to get rougher and rougher till we get to Adelaide, which we're not looking forward to, because this is the first time the ship's small, and the first time we're taking seasickness tablets most days at sea now, aren't we? Which is just not. We haven't had to do it in all of our previous 40 cruises. But anyway, we went up to the living room, and Amadeus was there, who's lovely, isn't he? He's mad, he's such good fun. And I asked for Sauvignon Blanc, and Paul asked for, you just had a beer, didn't you? It was normal. And I got my Sauvignon Blanc, and I thought, ooh, that doesn't look like the one I've been having. I've been having an Italian one called Fantanal. I'll show you the label here. But anyway, so I took a taste. I thought, oh my god, that's dreadful. And so you went up to Amadeus.
Well, I had a sniff of it, and I'm no wine connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination, but I had a sniff of it, and it smelled like vinegar. And I know we said earlier that Carole likes vinegar, but not when it's wine.
No.
And it was.
So I said to Amadeus about it, and he was lovely. He said, well, this is the one that we're having for this cruise. And I'm like, no. What? So I've got to know. I love my glass of wine in an evening. I've now got to drink crap wine because they've changed it. And you know, another thing, we were talking to a guy and I thought, you know, he's right, because we're cruising around Australia. Why aren't we having Australian wines?
Yeah.
You know, I've been very happy with the wine on the first leg of the cruise. And I was thinking, oh no. Anyway, he managed to find, he said, we've got a few bottles of this Fentanyl left. So he gave me a glass of that and it was lovely. So I'm just keeping fingers crossed that I'm not going to, you know, if my wine choice goes down to something really rubbish, that's going to be very frustrating when you've paid for an all-inclusive package.
Yeah. And on, like I said, a slight tangent, we were talking to some like wine buffs. They know all about their wines, where they were talking to us, and it was always over my head. And this guy said, like Carole just said, oh, I'm just absolutely gobsmacked that where we're going is all fantastic wine regions of Australia, and there's no Australian wines on here. They're all French and Spanish and Italian. And he said, and I think my point was proved even more when he said, I saw the captain get off the ship the one day, and when he came back on, he had 2 cases of Margaret River wine. Yeah, which was one of the places that we stopped.
Well, the wine has been good up until now, but so that was a bit of a like, I was like, oh, hang on. So we'll see. We'll let you know.
Watch the space,
we'll let you know. Get on with that.
For Winegate.
No. Anyway, then it was time for our Christmas entertainment, Christmas Eve entertainment. The show started, and it started with Justin, the assistant cruise director, doing a bit of dialogue about a Christmas story about that was all relative to the Azamara Quest and the captain, and an impersonation of his voice. You can do quite a good Captain Johannes voice, can't you?
You put me on the spot now. He sounds like Smithers at The Simpsons. Yes, that's Simpson, sir, from Section B. He's got quite a deep voice and it doesn't go up and down too much.
No, it's very smooth. But anyway, so Justin did a fab job with that. We had some classic Christmas tunes from the team, didn't we, which was brilliant.
And then we were treated to some lovely Christmas messages from the crew on board the Azamara Quest.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, explore and be happy. Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and stay healthy. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Hanukkah! Yay!
क्रिसमस की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं।
Feliz Natal! Wysokcio!
Buon Natale! Święta Bożnicz! Feliz Navidad! Goju!
And also Music for Soul were there, and Kat from Music for Soul has got the most amazing voice, hasn't she?
Kat is probably the best singer we've ever heard on
in a house band.
On a cruise ship.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
We've seen some great singers.
Yeah.
But I think she's possibly, I mean, she sung I Will Always Love You last night, and she out Whitney Houston.
I think so. It was brilliant.
Absolutely spectacular.
The whole place was just brilliant. Then sorry, I got a bit emotional then. Oh.
I told you she was good.
It's been a bit of an odd one, hasn't it, Christmas?
Yeah.
It's been lovely being on a cruise, but we've really missed family, haven't we? And
yes.
Even though we don't always see our family all the time over Christmas, it's I don't know. It's just been an odd one, hasn't it? Can you say doing a Christmas cruise is the best thing? I've thoroughly enjoyed the Christmas elements of it, but I have found it a little bit hard. Anyway, but that's no reflection of the Christmas show. And no reflection of the Christmas show at all, because that was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
But it just makes you emotional when you hear songs like that, doesn't it? But anyway, so after the Christmas show, well, you said yesterday we sat there, weren't we, and you were messaging Lucas and stuff, and we were sat there, and it was But anyway,
when you send in messages saying, well, yes, it makes you emotional. It doesn't make you emotional like a day later when you're talking about somebody singing a song, unless you're quite old. Really?
Oh, but anyway, we're thinking of our families at home all the time, aren't we? Which is lovely because we love them dearly. Anyway, It was then after the show we thought, oh, let's go and see if there's a spot in the den. The ship, had, like we said, has started moving a bit. So I've been going up to the living room where Music for Soul play all the time. I was really struggling with because the movement is so much because you're right at the front. So we went to the den. And again, Ruby was there, Mark and Daniel, the regulars, and also Julius. He's a lovely barman who just appears everywhere, doesn't he? And he just comes up and was saying Merry Christmas. Jose was playing on the piano, and it was just a lovely couple of hours. And before we knew it, the bar was shut again. So then it was off to bed, and it was about
to make sure that Father Christmas comes to see us. I know that one of us has been good, but I don't know, I can't vouch for Carole. Have you been good?
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was gone 1 o'clock, and now we're having to move the clock forward an hour, so we lost an hour. It's going to do that every night till we get to Adelaide. In fact, it's going to lose half an hour.
I'm sorry,
one
but
night.
Like, when the captain was talking about the time changes,
and
I didn't even know. I'm a 58-year-old man. I didn't even know this was even a thing. And he said the time will go forward by the time we get to Adelaide 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think that was even possible. I didn't even think you. I didn't even.
Well,
think
anything's possible, isn't it?
Well, I didn't think they did half hours though. Well, the clock goes forward half an hour tonight. It's like what?
But anyway, so that was our Christmas Eve. So it was joyful in lots of ways, and a little
was it triumphant as well?
Joyful and triumph. No, we're not going to sing. Anyway, we'll leave you there, and we'll let you know how Christmas Day goes.
Yes.
Right then. It's Christmas Day.
See how she started without me then, though? I wasn't even paying attention.
1, 2, 3. Right there. But it's Christmas Day on the Azamara Quest. And guess what we did all morning? We slept. We did, well, at first because it was a day at sea, so we didn't set the alarm, and we woke up about 11 o'clock, didn't we? So I must say this bed's been very, very comfortable in this cabin. Good, yeah. No vibrating like in the other cabin at the back. So we've slept really well in here, haven't we? So that's good. So we decided to get up, and it was the Azamara it's quite a famous brunch where all the officers serve you in the middle of the Discoveries restaurant, and it lasts between sort of 10 and 1. So covering sort of breakfast and lunch, which is why it's called brunch.
There's no flies on you, mate, is there? I tell you what.
So anyway, we were fed and watered, and then we decided to
go back to bed. We are 24-hour party people.
It was bizarre because the ship's moving a lot, and I know we've said throughout these vlogs that we've really struggled with it, haven't we? And we've took some more meclizine before we had brunch, and we were walking around the ship. We took some photos and thought we'll go and sit up on deck, but it was really quite windy, and the temperatures, you never know. You think, oh, you're cruising around Australia, it's going to be hot. Don't think that, because some places are very hot, some places aren't, and the temperatures dropped down to about 25-ish, which isn't bad.
It isn't bad, but it doesn't feel like that, does it? It doesn't feel like 25.
No, it felt a bit colder. So we thought, well, do we want to stay up on the pool deck in the wind, or should we just go back to the room? There were a few quizzes and stuff on, but again, they're in the living room, and it was right at the front of the ship, which I struggle with, don't I, in the living room, because I could sit there for about half an hour, and I think, oh God, I feel a bit odd. So we decided, I know, let's go back, snuggle up in our cabin and watch a film. So we went, oh, what's on the bed then, Paulie Moore? We've come into a little present from the Azamara Quest officers, staff and crew. Oh. Oh, well, what's that? Is it like a paperweight? Or just this? Oh, do you know what that is? That's a Christmas tree. Bauble. Can you see? Oh, that's nice. That is. Yeah. Thank you very much, Azamara. That's lovely. And in a lovely little box. Oh. So we went back and started watching one of our favourite films.
Well, we'd already watched Love Actually, so the next choice in the Richard Curtis rom-coms was Notting Hill.
Exactly. So we watched about half of that, both got sleepy, and we dozed off again, didn't we? But it was lovely, and you know, do what you want over Christmas. Just because it's Christmas Day doesn't mean you have to be.
Yeah, I mean that's a tradition, isn't it? You're full of
food,
quality street, or whatever sweets of choice you are, and mince pies, and then you lie on the sofa and fall asleep.
So then it was time for our Christmas dinner, wasn't it? And we had to book a slot in the Discovery's restaurant, and we booked a slot for 6:30. We had the jumbo shrimp, didn't we, to start? The
it was shrimp, and it was
sesame coated.
Sesame coated, that's exactly what it's called, and they were delicious.
They were absolutely divine. We then both went for the turkey dinner, and we noticed we're big gravy lovers. We liked it slathered on, don't we?
I don't know what slathered is, but
slathered. Lots of it.
Slathered, there's a new word for you kids.
The turkey was delicious.
Yes.
We had a pig's in blanket. We love a pig in blanket. And actually the Christmas dinner was very reminiscent of what we would have at home. And then for pudding, we had Christmas pudding with a brandy sauce on it. But oh my God, it was probably one of the nicest Christmas puddings we've had. You know, just outside the Discovery's restaurant and the Discovery's bar area is all the trees that the crew, different departments have made.
Christmas trees, you want to point out.
What did I say?
You said all the trees.
Christmas trees.
Yes. I mean, obviously, don't mistake the obvious, it's going to be Christmas trees, and it's fantastic. In each department, there's a competition. It's like an inter-ship competition, and the winning team, I believe, is like a $300,
yeah,
which is obviously big money. And it has to represent your department, and it's all made out of recycled materials.
Yeah.
So what I did is I did my bit to help out the bar team by drinking lots of beer.
Yes.
So they had lots of empty cans of bottles.
Exactly. And then we must admit, we voted for them because their tree was fantastic with all lights on. And they've been just brilliant. They're just a fantastic team that, well, everyone in that team, can't fault them, can you?
It's been
absolutely superb. So we thought, let's give them a vote. And we didn't just vote once, we voted about 4 times, didn't we? So we're hoping they win, but we'll let you know who does win, because they're going to announce that over the next couple of days, aren't they, when everyone's voted.
It's not just Christmas trees outside the Discovery restaurant. We even found the man himself, Santa. And because I was a good boy, he let me sit on his knee.
So the evening's entertainment tonight was...
I'm looking forward to this. What was his name, honey?
Patricio Mendes. Is that right?
I don't know.
Patricio Mendes. Yes, I got it right. It was a piano concert, basically, wasn't it? I was just saying something else then. And yes. Patricio Mendes is. Let me get the brochure actually. So this evening, if you can see from every day you get the Azamara Insider here, and it tells you what's going on. And we had, obviously his name is Patricio Mendes. He's born in Mexico and studied jazz piano with Cuban pianist Gabriel Hernandez, and also classical piano with a Chilean pianist. Yeah. So a very, very talented pianist. We thought, is it going to be our thing? Because, you know, we love live music, but not, you know, a piano solo. But actually, he started off with some classical music, which was beautiful, wasn't it? Very, very talented man. And then he invited in a bass player and the drummer from the Azamara team.
Just to point out, Patricio is also the pianist in the 6-piece Azamara Quest Orchestra. Yeah. So as soon, we didn't know that because we didn't know what his name was. But as soon as he came out, we realised who he was, and we'd actually had a couple of chats to him over the course.
Yeah, lovely man.
Really nice.
Yeah.
But like Carole said, when he invited out the drummer and the bass player from the orchestra, and then he started doing, it's not our cup of tea sort of jazzy type stuff, but he did this sort of like a jazz fusion of like Cuban and, you know, that's a sort of
Latino vibe. And it was brilliant, wasn't it?
But I gotta be honest, we thoroughly enjoyed it.
We did, yeah. Very talented musicians. So that was another good bit of entertainment on Azamara Quest. And then we thought, well, we'll just go into the den and see Jose on the piano and just see who's in there for a chat. And we bumped into chatting to Phil Cass and Philippa, who have been on. They get off in Adelaide, don't they? So we sat with them and had a chat. He's the magician, the guest magician that's on board, and we just clicked with them, don't we? And we just laughed. We talked about all sorts, and we ended up in the living room for one for the road, and again the last people to leave. So and a lovely chat with Scott, the DJ, who's been brilliant company. So so it was another nice evening, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Azamara hasn't got all the bells and whistles when it comes to entertainment, or the lots of choice of what should you do tonight. There's only about 2 or 3 things you think, and you can only really go to those lounges. But actually, it suited us. It's been fine, hasn't it? So so that's all good. So that was Christmas Day, our first Christmas Day on board, and it was just very pleasant, wasn't it?
Yeah,
very pleasant. So
it was obviously quite. It was a bit odd because we sent some messages to loved ones and stuff. So it's the first time we've been away from the family, so that was a bit. Yeah.
Don't start me off again.
Somebody shed a little tear.
But anyway,
yes.
So that's Christmas Day. So we'll let you know how we get on with our Boxing Day celebrations next.